Hello children, glad to see you all. Fine. Children, last class we were in the first lesson of your textbook, part 1, right? And the first lesson was A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Did you go through the text? Enjoyed reading it? Shall we continue with the second part of the lesson, that is the next part to go? We completed till the 21st paragraph there. Shall we continue now? And here we go children. Yes. Children, I welcome you all to this session. Let us continue with the class. And you enjoyed reading? Fine. I want you all to recall before we continue with the lesson. Shall we recall? I want you to recall on these lines. What is it? The days of the idle man on earth. Secondly, yes, the scenario in workers' paradise. How is it? And next children, the idler in workers' paradise. Okay, when he comes back, how did he spend time? And the meeting of the bustling girl near the torrent. And lastly, the idle man's request for a picture. And children, we shall come to the first one, that is the days of the idle man on earth. How did he spend his days? How did the idle man spend his days there? Yes, he was indulged in mad whims. He made little pieces of sculpture of men, women and castles. And later he made earthen things, earthen ponds. He used to paint on the earthen things, right? And next, what was the scenario in workers' paradise? It was entirely different. See, men said, God, we haven't a moment to spare. Very good. And women whispered. What did they whisper? Let's move on. Time's flying. Right? And children, it continues. What did all exclaim? Time is precious. Our hands are full. Make use of every single minute. Right? Yes, children. And the man dies one day, and you should have come across a line in the textbook, is it not? Yes, there is a saying, some boys seldom ply their books, yet pass their tests. The same thing happened here. When the idle man dies, okay, he had spent his earthly life on useless things, but after death, the gates are open wide. Okay, he goes to heaven. And children, and there, what did he do? He did nothing. He did not fit in with the scheme of things in workers' paradise. Right? He wasted his time there as well. And children, he launched in the streets absently, jostled the hurrying men, lay down on the meadows and was taken to task by busy farmers. Do you recall? What happened later? He meets the bustling girl. Where does he meet the bustling girl? Near the torrent. And children, this bustling girl exactly sees the idle man. And what is the statement there? Just as the princess sees a beggar and has pity on him, the same way the girl in heaven, she pitied this idle man. And she offers for some work, right? And what does he say? Very good. He says, give me a picture, spare me a picture so that I can draw a picture, right? And very good. You have got everything right. You recalled it. Good children. Shall we continue with the lesson? Yes, we will. Interesting. Fine. Listen to the text now. Okay. Open your pages. The next page, the second page from the 22nd paragraph. A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Session 2. Children, open page number 2. We start from the 22nd paragraph. The man started painting. He drew line after line. He put color after color. When he had completed his work,
The girl held up the picture and stared at its sides, her eyes puzzled. Brows drawn, she asked, "What do they mean? All those lines and colors? What is their purpose?" The man laughed. "Nothing. A picture may have no meaning and serve no purpose." The girl went away with her picture. At home, away from prying eyes, she held it in the light, turned it round and round, and scanned the painting from all angles. At night, she moved out of bed, lightened the lamp, and scanned it again in silence. For the first time in her life, she had seen something that had no meaning and no purpose at all. When she set out for the torrent the next day, her hurrying feet were a little less hurried than before, for a new sense seemed to have awakened in her, a sense that seemed to have no meaning and no purpose at all. She saw the painter standing by the torrent and asked in confusion, "What do you want of me?" "Only some more work from your hands." "What kind of work would you like?" "Let me make a colored ribbon for your hair," he answered. "And what for?" "Nothing." Ribbons were made bright with colors. The busy girl of Workers' Paradise had now to spend a lot of time every day tying the colored ribbon around her hair. The minutes slipped by unutilized. Much work was left unfinished. In Workers' Paradise, work had of late begun to suffer. Many persons who had been active before were now idle, wasting their precious time on useless things such as painting and sculpture. The elders became anxious. A meeting was called. All agreed that such a state of affairs had so far been unknown in the history of the Workers' Paradise. The aerial messenger hurried in, bowed before the elders, and made a confession. "I brought a wrong man into this paradise," he said. "It is all because of him." The man was summoned. As he came, the elders saw his fantastic dress, his quaint brushes, his paints, and they knew at once that he was not the right sort for Workers' Paradise. Stiffly, the president said, "This is no place for the like of you. You must leave." The man sighed in relief and gathered up his brush and paints. But as he was about to go, the girl of the silent torrent came up, tripping, and cried, "Wait a moment, I shall come with you." The elders gasped in surprise. Never before had a thing like this happened in Workers' Paradise, a thing that had no meaning and no purpose at all.
Did you listen? Enjoyed it? Good. But there were a few words which were not familiar to you, right? You wanted to know the meaning of them? Here it goes. The first one, I could get a few is, the first one is puzzled. What do you mean by puzzled? In Kannada, gondala, right? Confused. And children, look at the picture here. This man is confused. It tells this way, that way. Here we go, there we go. He is confused. He does not know. The man is puzzled looking at the direction. Right? And children, the next word is prying. What does it mean? Curious. Honchi nodu. Right? And here is a sentence for you. She tried to escape the prying eyes of her neighbors as she moved into her new house. Right? And next one, anxious. What does anxious mean? Worried. Atanka. Howda? Okay, here's a sentence. As it was getting dark, I waited anxiously at the door for my son to return. Next one, tripping. It means run with quick, light steps. Bega bega hejje hakodu. Okay? And look at the sentence here. As the baby fell down, I ran tripping to pick her up. Do you see? Fine. And with this, the list of words is completed. Did you understand the reading? Followed it? Follow the story? Shall we comprehend once? Let us understand. Okay? And here it goes for you. So, the man asks for the picture, right, to draw a picture in the previous class. And what happens? This girl, the bustling girl, gives the man her picture, right? And what does he do? He starts drawing line after line, colored it and painted it. Later, after the work is complete, he gave the picture to the girl. Beautiful picture, right? And look at the lines. And children, what happens later? The girl is puzzled, right? She sees the picture. The girl started wondering on the lines and colors. And later, she did not understand its purpose. Why is this line drawn? And later, she wanted to look on the lines once again. So, she goes back home and away from prying eyes, she scans the painting. But does she find any meaning there? No, she could not find any meaning nor any purpose. And children, next day, she goes to the torrent. Earlier, her steps were hurried. Do you recall? Yes, but this time, it's very slow. Okay, what does she do? She meets the painter. What does he ask for now? He asks for some more work. And this time, what does he want to make? Colored ribbons. Exactly. So, he makes colored ribbon. And what does this girl do? Very good. She ties the ribbon, right? She spends most of the time tying colored ribbons to her hair. And what about the work? Much of the work was left unfinished. Okay? And children, later, it's not alone with the girl. Very good, you recall. Even work suffers in workers' paradise. Look at them. They are all sitting idly. And children, they were active before, but now they are idle. And they waste their precious time on useless things. What do they do? How do they waste their time? Yes, they waste their time on painting and making sculpture. And what happens? There's the meeting of elders called. So now they're all worried. What does this change? They're all worried. So they gather for a meeting. And there they state that, oh, such a state of affairs was unknown in the history of workers' paradise. We have not seen this long back. This is, yes, surprising. And children, what happens? The aerial messenger, he comes and makes a confession. What is the confession made? Yes, I have got a wrong man into the paradise. Okay. And later, the elders, they come to a conclusion. So they make a verdict. What is that? Yes, looking at his attire, paint and brush, they decide that he was not the right sort there. Is it not? And children, what next? He is asked to leave the place. Okay? And as he is about to go with all his paints, brush, etc., the girl comes tripping and she announces that she wants to go with him. Listening to this, the elders gasped in surprise. Look there, she comes tripping. Okay, I want to come along with you. Yes, children, did you recall? Understood? How is it? Very nice. Enjoy the lesson, right? Yes, children. So, back after the class, you will take out the textbook and read out once again. And I hope you have got a textbook in your hand now. Yes? A pencil to write, a notebook. Fine, children. If you have understood this, children, having understood the text, you have understood the lesson. Now, if you happen to make a request to your friend, you are in a class, you have forgotten to get your textbook, how will you ask her? Yes, you say, can I have your textbook? Will you please give me your textbook? May I take the textbook from your bag? Is it not? Fine. This is how you make a request. And I want you all to watch a video on modal verbs, and there you have enough modal verbs that will help you to make request, okay, seeking permission, right? Shall we listen to it?
Modal helping verbs modify the main verb by adding necessity or possibility. In this lesson, you'll learn how to use can, could, may, might, must, should, will, won't, and would. Use can and could to express ability and possibility. I can swim means I have the ability to swim. We could go to the movies means it's possible for us to go to the movies. You can also use them in the negative form to express no ability or no possibility. You can't enter the restricted area. This means it's not possible. He tried to call me, but he couldn't get through. Couldn't means it wasn't possible. Use may and might to express the idea of maybe. We might go camping depending on the weather. This means if the weather is good, we will go, and if the weather is not good, we won't go. I may go to the gym if I can get off work early. Again, it's not a certainty, but maybe I will go, depending on my work. Use should to give a recommendation or suggestion. If your head hurts, you should go to the doctor. This means I suggest that you go to the doctor. He should see that movie. He'd like it. This means I recommend that he sees the movie because I think he would enjoy it. Use must to express necessity. That means something is required. You must arrive on time for the exam, otherwise they won't let you take it. It means it is necessary to arrive on time. In spoken English, it's much more common to use need to and have to for requirements instead of must. You can also say, you gotta arrive on time, but this is very informal and is used in spoken English only. Gotta is never used in written English. Use will and won't to express certainty about the future. I'll help you write the report means I promise to help you write the report. That software won't work. It's not compatible with the computer. This means I am certain that the software will not work. Finally, use would to express an imaginary situation. If I were a millionaire, I would give a lot of money away. Dana would study English if she had more free time. Both of these situations, being a millionaire and having more free time, are imaginary. They are not real, so we use would to describe what would happen in this imaginary situation. In spoken English, we normally shorten the word would. If I were a millionaire, I'd give a lot of money away. She'd study English if she had more free time. When asking a question using a modal helping verb, the word order changes. I can swim is the statement, but when asking a question, the modal verb comes before the subject. Can you swim? Here's an example with could. Could we go to the movies? The modal verb could comes before the subject we, and in the answer, it's reversed. Yes, we could. You should see that movie. Should I see that movie? I would give money away. What would you do? In questions, always put the modal helping verb before the subject.
Oh, great. You have understood. Children, now you will have to work on the exercise under speaking activities in your textbook on page 10. The heading is Making Request. Kindly work on that. We will go to the next one. Now, you happen to meet your friends or a stranger on the way when you are going to school or elsewhere. You come across people who ask you for directions. How can I reach the place? Right? What do you do then? You guide them. And what are the terms you use for giving them direction? Exactly. Maybe a few I have listed here. Check. You say go straight, or you say turn right and turn left. Do you use this? And next, children, look at this. U-turn. You make a U-turn. And you also use go past. Look at the picture. And you also use take the second right, or you also use take the first left. Okay. You may also use it's round the corner. See, when do you use this? It's round the corner. Do you see a picture there? Yes. Is it not? So, these are some of the terms you may use while guiding someone, a stranger, for directing them, showing him the direction. Is it not? Now, I want you to listen, okay, to this and understand how can you give direction. Okay, this will be of help to you. Shall we listen?
Writing a guided paragraph using a map. Activity 4. Look at the map. Complete the directions to get to the post office from the Nile Hotel. So here is the map. In the map we can find this is the Nile Hotel, and we have to go to the post office. In the map we can find the post office here. So we have to decide how to go from the Nile Hotel to the post office. Before completing the paragraph, we have to read out the paragraph very carefully, because we can see there are two ways to go to the post office. But which one we should complete? After reading the paragraph we can decide. Let's see the paragraph. In the first line it says, come out of the Nile Hotel and turn. We have to decide this is the Nile Hotel and come out. And our map shows that we have to go to the left. So come out of the Nile Hotel and turn left. So come out of the Nile Hotel and turn left. After that, in the second line we see, go Al-Khabir Street. So there is a turning at the traffic lights. The road goes to this way and it can lead you to the post office. But this is not Al-Khabir Street. So we cannot take this way. We have to come out from the Nile Hotel and go straight along Al-Khabir Street. This is the Al-Khabir Street. So how to write, how to complete here? Go along Al-Khabir Street. And there is another information you can find. There is a park on your, we have to decide where is the park. This is the park. So when you go along Al-Khabir Street, the park will be on your, we can decide easily that the park will be on your right. And after the park, there are some traffic lights. So if you want to go to the post office, then at the traffic lights, you should take the right turning. At the traffic lights, then we have to take the right turn. At the traffic lights, turn right into Rui Street. And we can find this is the Rui Street here. After the park, there are some traffic lights. And at the traffic lights, turn right into Rui Street. Now read the sentence. Go on until you come to a. If you want to go to the post office, then you will have to come up to the roundabout. So go straight on. We can write here, go straight on until you come to a roundabout. This is the roundabout. Go straight on until you come to a roundabout. At the roundabout, then we have to take the right turn. This is the roundabout. And after, you will have to take the right turn here. Turn right and then take, we can see in the map that after the taking the right turning, then you will have to take the first turning on your left. There is another road here, so you need not to go up to this. If you want to go to the post office, then you will have to take the first turning on your left. I am writing here, you come to a roundabout, turn right, and then take the first turning. I'm writing here the first turning on your left. We can see in the map, after the roundabout, take the first turning on your right, and then after, take the first turning on your left. The post office is on your, we can find this is the post office, and this is the post office on your right. And there is another information. It is just opposite a mosque. We can write here, it is opposite a mosque. This is the mosque here and the post office just opposite. So these are the directions to go to the post office from the Nile Hotel.
Children, so are you through? Can you guide somebody? Can you lead them to reach the destination? Yes, I think it was of help to you, right? And as you have understood the text, the first lesson, right? I want you to work on this. Will you? Answer the following. Men in workers' paradise say, God, we haven't a moment to spare. But the idle man says, I haven't a moment to spare for work. Do you see the contradiction there? Yes. Now you will have to contrast the attitude of the men in the paradise with that of the idle man. Will you do it? Yes. Draw out a conclusion. What did you find? What does the idle man mean when he says, I haven't a moment to spare for work? And what do men say there? They say, we haven't a moment to spare. The men in workers' paradise, right? Okay, fine. You will contrast the attitude of men with that of the idle man. And children, not alone that question, you will also work on the exercise part. After the end of the lesson, you have got some exercise work to do, comprehension work to do. You will read the lesson once again for better understanding and then answer the question and answer given. Will you all work on it? And children, along with that, you will do this activity also. You will find it on page number 11. It is about giving directions. Will you work on that as well? Very good. And here you will draw a picture. There is a picture given in the textbook. You will make a conversation to that. Fine? Okay. Draft a conversation, how you will give the direction and complete all the exercise work that is given at the end of the lesson. Okay, children, did you understand? Okay, if you have understood, you will work on the exercise and then give it to your teachers. Okay, fine. and thanking you all. Children, stay safe, stay at home, but please go through the textbook, the first chapter, read once again and then answer. Thank you all.